Dr. Marvin Monroe is one of the most fascinating and mysterious characters in The Simpsons. Being a huge part in the early seasons, he strangely died off screen, only to miraculously return to life, only to die again. It makes next to no sense, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of this curious case today. But first of all, a word from this video's sponsor, Footmouse.
Footmouse just raises the skill gap. It's a whole different level of play.
Footmouse, get your foot in the game.
Oh, no, hang on. Wrong one. The real sponsor of today's video is Raid Shadow Legends. Raid is the free-to-play epic fantasy game that is available on iOS and Android. Right now, they've got a bunch of special events and tournaments with some of Raid's best ever prizes on offer, including badass champions, piles and piles of shards, and tons of other goodies. Raid's currently running a special Deliana Chase event where you can get your hands on the powerful Deliana, who is a brand new legendary champion from the High Elves faction. All you have to do is log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and July 20th, and you'll get Deliana absolutely free. And that's it. This is one of the best times to get started with Raid, and if you click the link in the description or scan my QR code right here on the screen, you'll get a free starter pack with almost $40 worth of goodies. We're talking 3 free champions all at once. Miserycore, Tiger Soul, Romero, plus 10 Magic XP brews, 10 Force XP brews, 10 Spirit brews, and that is absolutely huge. All this treasure will be waiting for you right here, and it's that easy, just click the link in the description. But that's not all. For new players, when you're in-game, just enter the promo code MyDeliana to get 50 XP brews to instantly get your legendary hero Deliana to max level 50. These rewards will only be available for the next 30 days and only for new players. Thank you Raid for sponsoring this video. Marvin Monroe made his first appearance in the 4th ever episode, There's No Disgrace Like Home. Feeling that his family are becoming more and more dysfunctional, Homer listens up when a commercial from Dr. Marvin Monroe claims to fix any family problem, with the added promise to double your money if he can't. So eager to improve his family's bond, the Simpsons visit the Family Therapy Center, and Monroe subjects them to numerous testing, including electroshock therapy. But as we all know, they're no normal family, too messed up for even Monroe.
This is not the way to get healthy!
So much so that the doc begs them to leave.
Just go and never tell anyone you were here.
His next appearance came in Some Enchanted Evening, where we see him present his own radio show, and he basically takes calls from listeners to help them with their problems, one being Marge Simpson. After this, Monroe appears rather sporadically. He was one of the doctors who studies Homer to figure out if he is the missing link, and he argues against Marge live on air about cartoon violence. Basically, whenever the writers needed an expert on absolutely anything, in walks Dr. Marvin Monroe. His appearances became fewer and fewer, and he was soon relegated to the background, and his role got so small, it got to the point where he disappeared completely. So, where did he go? Well, we finally got our answer in the Simpsons 138th episode spectacular. In it, Troy McClure asked the audience which popular Simpsons character died in the past year during the ad break, with the answers being Bleeding Gums Murphy and Dr. Marvin Monroe. This wasn't just a passing joke either. His death was later confirmed when we saw his tombstone in Alone Again Natra Diddley. We also got other references to his passing through things named in his memory. So why was he killed off? He seems like an intelligent, well-meaning dude, just eager to help us Springfieldians. Well, as it turns out, he was absolutely detested by the Simpsons staff. Not because of his personality, but because of his voice.
Hi friends, I'm Dr. Marvin Monroe.
Matt Groening himself hated Monroe's gravelly voice, saying that it felt far too forced, and compared to the likes of Moe, where you could just imagine him being found in the dark depths of the dive bar, I can't say that I don't entirely disagree with him. It basically doesn't carry that genuine flow that other characters' voices have. One other person who cheered at the prospect of Monroe biting the dust was his voice actor Harry Shearer. The strain of doing the raspy voice was hard on his throat, and I imagine it was painful whenever he was performing as him for a long period of time.
Anything but soothing.
And so I gave him this voice.
And soon regretted it, of course.
This seems to be the reason why Monroe was killed off, which makes total sense. But what doesn't is why he came back to life again. In season 15's Diatribe of a Mad Housewife, Marge becomes a best-selling author, and while at the book signing, Marvin appears out of nowhere. As shocked as us, Marge asks him why she hasn't seen him in years, to which he explains that he's been very sick. So whatever quote-unquote illness Marvin had, it hindered his presence for a whole other decade. He would disappear again for another 10 years until Treehouse of Horror 25. In it, the Simpsons come face to face with the ghostly forms of their Tracy Ullman selves, only to die soon after. It's a weird segment. And guess what? Who randomly shows up but the spirit of Marvin Bloody Monroe? And Marge is once again shocked to see the Doctor. He informs her that he's in limbo before getting stuck in a wall. To add more fuel to this mystery, in a 2017 episode, we see a book in the background titled Did I Die or Not?, written by Monroe. And this is furthered again 1 year later in 2018 in the episode Flanders Ladder, in which Bart is struck by lightning and put into a coma. When we look into Bart's mind, we see his subconscious ability to see the dead. As such, he sees the ghost of Maud, Bleeding Gums Murphy, and of course, Marvin Monroe. So what the hell is going on? Is he dead? Is he alive? I think we need to discuss two theories. Theory 1, he's like Schrodinger's cat, in that he's both alive and dead. Monroe mentioning that he's stuck in limbo suggests how he's caught in between two planes of existence, straddling the lines of life and death. This is why we either see him as an ambiguous subconscious or in a Treehouse of Horror episode. It's here where his existence can be more fluid to make an appearance. Even when bumping into Marge in the bookshop, who's to say this wasn't another ethereal apparition? I mean, there were no other witnesses, and it seems that Marge, like when telling her he's in limbo, is perhaps his strongest confidant. This may be because in the show, they're both seen as the voice of reason and share this bond of wanting to help people. Perhaps Marge is the only person he feels he can really disclose this warped sense of self. Theory 2, he's alive. One other possible theory is that he's very much alive, but he is extremely ill and stays at home. As such, no one ever sees him, so the entire town believes him to be dead. Again, it was only Marge who saw him at the book signing. It could be, as we saw in the episode There's No Disgrace Like Home, that he basically failed as a doctor, eager to fix the Simpsons, but ultimately failing. He looked disgraced, disheartened, and it's not hard to believe that this could have hurt his business. When we next see him, he is a mere radio advice guru, suggesting he lost his family therapy center and now he has to do what he can. So it won't be crazy to think that this humiliation may have led to his illness and therefore isolation. Or the most likely answer is that the writers just can't make up their minds and have a whole lot of fun confusing us. Marvin Monroe was an interesting character in that he kind of acted like a minor antagonist in some regards, but also tried very hard to be a problem solver. The Simpsons family beat his cruel electroshock test, causing him to get very irate. He debated against Marge on TV violence, and he thought Homer was Bigfoot, effectively keeping him a prisoner. He was a rather strong character to retire. He offers that edge that the average do-gooder character lacks. Hell, he was even the evil boss in The Simpsons Bart vs. the Mutants. And ultimately, I can't help but feel that if Shearer used a different voice than what he did for Marvin, he might still be around today. But what I want to know is, what do you think of Marvin Monroe? Are you a fan or did you hate him too? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, then I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed and liked the channel. Thank you so much, and I'll smell you later.